Hey guys, it's Susie here from NJ Beta. We have a marble half moon and my female koi half moon that has previously spawned. I have some of her children here. They were put in, I want to say Sunday morning. It's Monday morning now. I had nothing going on when I first woke up this morning several hours ago. Female was basically hiding head down in the corner submitting. The male was fixing his nest, going under it, poking at her, going back to nest flaring, and she was still not quite ready, or he wasn't ready. So I have the craft mesh here in my 10-gallon. That cuts it about a third of the tank, and as you see there's only about maybe 4 inches tops of water. When I saw there wasn't much progress going on and she had been nipped a little bit, and she was submissive, I decided to add the second layer of craft mesh to enclose them even further. And without spooking them, I'm going to show you how much room they have, which is really hardly anything. I had some heater issues with this tank. This was currently a grow out for my Dalmatian veil tails, and I had moved everybody over, jarred everybody, cleaned the tank out, so the heater was still set to this full 10 gallons of water, so they were kind of at 87. So I lowered the heater, and then I had gone to work yesterday and they had dropped down to 79, so that's why nothing had happened soon. I had some heater issues and I had to raise the temp again and got it set. So I think that's why it kind of prolonged the progress here. So always double check your heaters prior to putting them in. So that was my fault that they got probably a little too warm. I have spawned in 86, no problem. But I just wanted to crank the temp down to about 83, 84 is where I normally spawn at. And then giving them this tighter quarters seemed to really get them going. Now if you see, I know the quality isn't so great. I'm sitting back a little bit. There's not a lot of light in here. She's a little bit nipped. This is going to happen. You know, like I said in my other video, they're aggressive. They're going to nip each other. If you can't deal with that, then, you know, maybe breeding isn't for you. You just have to kind of put them in and look from a distance and hope for the best. He had nipped his fin after I purchased him, after he came in, and I had him for about a week or so. So that the bit of his tail there is still growing back. That wasn't from her, but he hasn't touched it since. And apparently his brother was a very good breeder, so hopefully we don't have any fin nippers in this batch. But she's a little ripped up, she'll be fine. So I don't want to spook them too much, but I wanted to show you what I had to do with the tank in order to get them to spawn and how little room they really have. So there's their little leaf. Let it focus. So as you see, the bigger piece of craft mesh took about a third, gave them about a third of the tank. And then once I said, I fixed the heater issue, there was really nothing going on. They both seemed kind of ready, but they needed that little bit more of a push. That's where the second layer of craft mesh just enclosed them enough to kind of get them focused. And then I have, in these little coffee filters here, are more almond leaves. I like to crumble them up and put them in the coffee filters, because when I leave them in the tank, they tend to break down and get the tank all this brown gooky stuff at the bottom, which drives me nuts. So I decided I'm going to try to put them in coffee bags here. So I'm still releasing the tannins, but they're not getting all over and getting to be a mess. So 10 gallon with the craft mesh. Their temp was good last night and there still was no spawning. It's even been raining for the past several days, so with the barometer changing, they always like to spawn in the rain. Gave them a little bit tighter of an area to spawn, and ran some errands this morning. So about 2 hours later, they started to spawn, which is wonderful. Now she's collecting eggs. I don't remember what she did last time. I believe she did put them up in the nest. So she's kind of picking them up right now, and he's really not. So I'll have to see if she does put them back. I believe she did with my orange koi half-moon male that I spawned her to. It says here 12/23, her first batch of babies had hatched. Yep, looks like she's putting them in there. And he's gonna flare a little bit. It might take a minute or two in between wrappings to kind of, let them situate their nest and get all the eggs. He's doing something over here too. He says, I'm putting things up here. Now form and finnage-wise, these fish are very compatible. He has a gorgeous top line. His tail, when it was totally filled in, hit 180 perfectly. She's a hair shy of 180 when fully flared. She's a nice top line. Everything about her was really great when I went to purchase her. So the color is a bit funky, but with a marble and a koi spawn, you're gonna get lots of marbles, some koi. So I wanted to see what, you know, this color combination would bring. As long as your fish are compatible form and finnage wise, then if you want to play around with colors as far as marbles go, that's fine. If you're breeding for solid fish or bicolor fish, you know, you want to stick to like colors because you could end up getting red washes if you try to mix a blue fish with a red fish. Not really sure what this guy's yellow and blue will do, but this female does have a couple like white, shiny, opaque scales, so I'm hoping maybe I get a little bit more white, or this kind of opaque or white like iridescent on these guys. I don't want to get any closer. If I zoom in, the quality might get a little worse, all the lighting and everything. I'll try, it might not look that great. And then she floats to the top. She looks dead, gives him a chance to collect the eggs, and she says, no, I'm gonna help. So once they're done spawning, I'm gonna take her out since she is nipped. I'm gonna put her back in her container. Almost all my fish are in half-gallon containers, except for when they're first jarred. I use 32 ounces, but she'll go back in her half-gallon with a bunch of Furan 2 to help her with healing her fin so she doesn't get any secondary infections, and she'll get daily water changes, which they pretty much get anyway. And we use the 4 times dose of Furan 2. Basically, if you read the package, it says to dose once every day. I believe it says, you know, the full dosage once a day for 4 days. We don't do that. We just add it all at once. I don't even measure it anymore. I make the the water bright yellow. Never had a problem, and it just kind of helps the healing process go along when your fish come in nipped, or if they've nipped during breeding, or if they have cloudy eye or pop eye or something. That is what she'll get. He's waiting for the eggs to fall.